Feature race then on Saturday is the Panasonic Cup Class 1 over the 1,400 metres. 14 of them will go to post as well, headed by California Whip. Behind Hot King Prawn last time out over the 1,200 metres, gets up in trip. Jolly Banner, a 5-time course and distance winner. What else but you? First up for the season. Won a 3 for John Size. Calculation, another size runner. Last start winner on the all-weather. Little Giant goes into Class 1 for the first time. His record reached 3 from 4. Rattan, odds on, beaten favourite last time out behind Romantic Touch. More than lucky up in class as well. Wame Friend beaten a nose in this race last year. Go from barrier 9, and Conti up in class. He won 5 of 6 last season. A Bird of Ripley ride from barrier 14. Calculation been hitting the roads. 3 trips up to Chung Fa and back. And New Asia Sunrise as well. Also out of the money in this race last year, but he's first up for the season as well. So have a look at the speed map here, Brett, for the feature race. And it is Wame Friend trying to repeat what he did last time, just to hopefully his connections and nose further forward.
Yeah, look, it's a race that does look to have a fair bit of pace in it, and there's obviously some question marks. Wame Friend doesn't generally like to get too far back in his races, so you'd expect him to roll forward. Calculation, probably going to roll forward too, after being right up on the pace and, of course, leading last start on the all-weather. Then you've got horses like California Whip. More Than Lucky's drawn 11. He's going to have to roll forward and either look for a spot that might not be there, therefore have to press on. And the most interesting runner of all, I think, is Conti, drawn barrier 14. Not one of his races so far has he been further back than 3rd or 4th. So you would think that from 14, they're going to roll the dice and get him out as quickly as possible and roll on. And maybe More Than Lucky might go forward with him. That's going to generate some speed. Probably suit this horse here, I would have thought, Little Giant, who'll be looking to swoop late, along with a horse like Rattan. And there might be 1 or 2 others as well. Simply Brilliant does look like whatever happens, he's going to get a nice run from gate 5. So that's a positive next to his name, I would have thought.
Lots of different angles here then, Paul. What have you seen?
Well, the first one we're going to have a look at for you is Dr. Jeff. I thought it was a really good fresh up run for him. He's just working with a partner horse. Sylvester de Souza's got the horse going nicely. He's only a little horse, Dr. Jeff, and more pace the better for him because he has had a win over longer. So the tongue tie, interestingly, goes on him for the first time. This horse is looking good. He seems to be over all his problems that he's had. It was a really strong win from him last time, and he's going really nicely, Little Giant. So any luck in running, I think he's going to be very tough to beat as a Little Giant. And New Asia Sunrise, now, he's won 3 times fresh up before. Comes in this race fresh. He should get a really nice run. He's got a really good barrier draw and a light weight. So I reckon he might run a bit of a race. New Asia Sunrise at a big price.
All right, 40 odd to 1 at the moment. We'll start off though with the favourite Little Giant and jockey Zach Purton.
Little Giant Zach, good win last time out. He's had 2 trials since then. How's he come through that run?
He's come through it well. He had everything laid on for him at his first start. He drew the right gate, just bounced on the bridle, had the good speed, the tempo. Travelled into it and got the job done nicely. It's a different ball game here. It's a stronger race. He's drawn a bit more of an awkward gate, so it's going to be a little bit more of a challenge for him. But he's an exciting horse, and we hope that he can go and do it.
What about up to 1,400?
I don't think the 1,400 is going to be a problem. I know it's his first go at it here in Hong Kong, and sometimes the first try at it is a little bit more testing than once they've had a go over it. But I think he's a nice horse, and you know, he gives the impression that he may be able to run a mile, but we'll try him at 14 first and see how he adapts.
You mentioned the mile. He's nominated for the Hong Kong Mile, the Hong Kong Sprint. You say he's a nice horse. Is he that nice?
He's got to take a few more steps between now and then if he's going to get to that level. He's obviously always given the impression that he could go through the grades, and he's doing that at the moment, but we'll just take it 1 race at a time.
You've also been the regular rider for Simply Brilliant, who's in the race. How do you line those 2 up?
Yeah, they're both very nice horses. Simply Brilliant's obviously drawn a nice gate. He's going to get a nice run. He was unlucky last time. He should have won that race. So he's in good form, and I don't think there's a lot between them.
Well, there you go, rundown on Little Giant and Simply Brilliant. We're going to have a look at that race in actual facts of Simply Brilliant. And Zach, I think it's been a long-standing situation. He's committed to Little Giants. There wasn't a decision as such. Here he is at this stage, just hemmed in on the inside. The other horse in this race to take note of is Joyful Trinity.
Yeah, and he's obviously had soundness issues, but at his best is very capable in a race like this, I would have thought. You can see here, Simply Brilliant's had a good, solid, nice, easy run, but California Joy just holds him in a zip fastener here, and he cannot get out. and he has to just change course here, switch around the heels of good standing. For horses to lose momentum and then be able to build it again and go pretty close to winning, it's not an easy thing to do in any class, but when you get to the higher levels, it's even more harder to achieve. So shows how well Simply Brilliant is going and how far he potentially could go.
Yeah, I think he's going to run a really big race in this. He's drawn to run well. We saw that in the speed map. I think Little Giant will beat him, but I've got him in there for second.
All right. What about More Than Lucky? It did look a touch awkward for him as far as the speed map was concerned, but he comes here in a bit of form. And the other one, of course, is Wa My Friend.
Yeah, Wa My Friend's going to bowl along, you would think, with a lightweight here for Victor Wong, and certainly gives some cheek. He has won 4 races, one of them over this course and distance. More Than Lucky's had good gates his first 2. It's a touch more awkward for him now as well from barrier number 11.
Yeah, I found it hard to leave him out because he's going so well at the moment, but I ended up doing it because of that gate. I just couldn't get him anywhere sort of on the track from barrier number 11 with all that speed underneath him. Well, my friend will run an honest race and he'll set them up for the race anyway.
He's going really well, More Than Lucky, no doubt. It is going to be a scramble early, and from the barrier you would tend to think the law of averages says he probably comes off worse than others.
All right. Rattan doesn't have to worry about that too much because he'll go back. This was a tactical affair. Last time out. Jolly Banner's in this race as well, so a sprint for the line, just came up second best. He was odds-on favourite here.
He was, and Rattan at the end of last season, we know what he did in that Class 2. He pulverised a field of very good horses, and then first up, he ran this second, placing behind World Record, and then obviously here behind Romantic Touch. 21.35 was his last 400. That's an outstanding sectional. A lot of the horses did break 22. It was just that Romantic Touch made it a real sit and dash. The run was enormous from Rattan, and I'm not willing to sack him yet.
No, I think he's probably the main danger to Little Giant, but he's the one to beat, Paul, is he?
Yeah, I've got Little Giant on top. I just think he's a really nice, exciting horse going through the grades, and I can see him winning this race nicely. So he's on top to beat Simply Brilliant. Dr. Jeff, I thought, was an enormous run, fresh up over 1,000. Steps up to a more suitable 1,400 metres. And New Age of Sunrise was a little roughy in this race because he goes really well fresh, and he's drawn to get a really good run. So some of these others don't get a good run. I know he will, so we'll put him in there for 4th, and he's going well in his track work. 7, 9, 6 and 13, but I think 7 will win.
I'm finding it hard to label the winner because of the situation with the barrier draws, to be honest, but I ended up just coming back to Rattan potentially overhauling Little Giant, Simply Brilliant. For me, the winner will come from one of those 3. I ended up going 8 to beat 7, 9. I think More Than Lucky is an honest type. He's going well. The barrier was a concern. I'm concerned with the gate 2 for Conti and obviously the first up coming into this class, but he's shown in the past he can handle most things.
Yeah, 7 and 8's my cue as well. I think Little Giant's the one to beat, but it is tricky from the barrier. Wouldn't be taking much shorter than 2.2 either. All right, that's the Panasonic Cup. 2 more to go. We're back on your weather for race number 9.